Hey folks, we are going to talk a little bit about the material in the chapter you just read about modes of persuasion and the things that you need to think about when you're doing your persuasive speech. This is different from the informative speech where you're just telling us information about your topic. In your persuasive speech, you're actually taking a position, you're trying to convince your audience of something. So we're going to talk about how you do that by looking at the different modes of persuasion. And that brings up the three types of appeals to your audience. So we're going to go back old school here to Aristotle, an ancient Greek philosopher who studied rhetoric and how to be the most persuasive to your audience. And he thought that persuading is a type of demonstrating, that we're most persuaded by something when we see someone demonstrate it to us, like prove it to us. And so there are three ways to do that. And the first way is by the speech itself. Does it prove some kind of truth with logical reasoning? Secondly, is by tapping into your audience's emotions. Are they affected by what they hear? Because if you care about something, you're more likely to be persuaded by it. And then lastly is the speaker's personal character. Is the person giving the speech credible? Do we believe them? Do we trust them? So we've got the speech, the listener, and the speaker are all important components of persuasion. So we're going to use the Greek terms and learn them and then learn what they are in English. The first one is logos, and that connects with the speech itself. Does it prove a truth? And the word logos is the same root word as our English word logic. And this is how you appeal to your audience's brain. You're providing facts, statistics, things that support your thesis and your main points. Maybe you're citing experts or articles that cite experts. You're giving definitions of key terms. You're providing concrete examples. You're actually proving factually what you're talking about. So you want to think about logos as the logical appeal, providing evidence, appealing to your audience's brain. And what happens when there is a lack of logos? You may have heard about logical fallacies, fake news, right? You can manipulate data, or you just don't have any. You don't have any supporting material in your speech. You're just saying things off the top of your head. Your audience isn't going to believe you. They're not going to be persuaded by your speech because of the lack of logos. It's not going to add up. It won't make sense to your listener. The second type of appeal is pathos. And this is what is connecting to the listener's emotions. Are they affected by what they hear? And the word pathos is the same root for our English words empathy and sympathy. You can see that in there. And both of those words have to do with emotions. So this is the emotional appeal. How do you appeal to your audience's emotions? You do that by your delivery style. If you show passion, that you care about what you're talking about, your audience is going to care. If you use descriptive language, choose your words carefully so that you're maximizing the emotional impact. You want to paint a picture of the result that you want. What could happen if the audience agrees with you? How great is the future going to be if the audience decides to agree with you and take the action that you want to take? Or how grim could it be if the audience doesn't agree with you? What are the bad things that could happen? So you want to kind of tug on their heartstrings. And I like to think of those commercials for the Humane Society where you've got the little sad puppies and kittens, and the Sarah McLachlan music in the background. And, I don't even care what's happening. I just want them to take my money to help these poor, sad little kittens, because the emotional appeal is so strong, right? Theoretically, you want to know that there's a logical appeal in there too, that they're using the money to do something important, that they've got statistics about the number of animals that have been hurt. But really, the focus of those commercials is the emotional appeal. And they are shameless about it. They are trying to get you to weep as you watch these sad little kittens in kitten jail so that you donate your money. If your speech does not have pathos, your audience is going to be like, meh, why would I agree with you? I don't really care about this topic. It doesn't seem like you care about it. So I'm probably going to tune out, but I'm certainly not going to agree with you. The last type of appeal is called ethos, and this is the one that connects with the speaker's personal character. Are you credible? And this is the same root as our English word ethics. Are you ethical? And that means, are you honest? Do you have integrity? Do people trust you? And you're trying to show your audience that you are an authority on the topic you're talking about. What are your qualifications, right? Do you have personal experiences that give you some insight into the topic? Is this something that's happened to you? Do you know somebody? Have you talked to people? Have you done research? So, how have you gotten your information? Have you done a good job of educating yourself about the topic? Do you have some kind of personal expertise, or have you mastered the topic by doing your research? You're showing that you know your stuff. And we know how important this is because there are some speakers that can talk and you have so much trust in them that you'd believe whatever they said, right? Because they've developed that reputation for honesty and integrity. And they have, that reputation for it. And that's what you want to develop each time you give a speech. You want to show your audience that you know what you're talking about, that you care what you're talking about, and that you've done the research and made the effort to master your topic. And if you don't do that, people aren't going to trust you. They're not going to believe what you say, and therefore they're not going to agree with you if they don't have that trust in you. So, which one of these three things is the most important? Logos, pathos, ethos? There's really not an answer to that. Logos is logic, pathos, emotion, ethos, credibility. They all work together. And in the book, they call this the unified approach or the united approach. You need to have a little bit of each to make a really persuasive speech. If you're just rattling off facts and it doesn't seem like you care about it very much, then people probably aren't going to be persuaded. But on the other hand, if you do have a lot of facts and you show a lot of passion for your topic, that's going to help with the ethos. People are going to find you very credible and trustworthy because you've gotten all those facts and because you really care about it. So really, they all work together. So quickly, we're going to run through the 4 types of audience that you read about in the chapter. And the first type is the supportive audience. This is a friendly group. They like what you have to say already. And so they're more likely to agree with you because they probably already do. So this might be a group of friends. If you're giving a political speech, it might be to a group of people who already vote the same way you do. They're supporters. An uncommitted audience is neutral. They're not for you or against you. They're just trying to learn what you're saying, and then they're going to make their judgment about whether they agree with you or not. An indifferent audience. Members don't care and appear openly bored. As a teacher, I don't even know what this is. I've never seen this before in my life. Hopefully, if you speak with some passion, you will get your audience to care a little bit, at least. And then finally, we've got the opposed audience. The members are against you or what you have to say. So this would be like a political speech that you're giving to a group of people who have a different viewpoint than you do. You're going into kind of hostile territory and trying to convince people who are predisposed to not believe you. So what kind of audience do you have for your speeches? What do you think? Not opposed, hopefully. Hopefully not indifferent, maybe uncommitted, but ideally in this class we'll all be a supportive audience because we want you to succeed, and the people in your house that may be watching your speech want you to be successful, and they already want to like what you have to say. So this is the best kind of audience to have, and hopefully that's what you're experiencing this summer. That's certainly what you're getting from me, and it's with a supportive eye that I am grading your speeches. So I'm looking forward to your persuasive speeches this week. Reach out to me and let me know if you have questions or any problems. You can join me during my Google Meet office hours this week if you want to practice or talk about your ideas for your persuasive speech. Please do note that my office hours are a little bit different this week. I'll have an office hour on Monday, Tuesday, and Friday. I'm not available on Wednesday. Thank you.